Hey lovelies, and welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's talk about Drheavenly and Carlosking talking about their Messy Mondays recaps. Now, of course, you guys know that Melody and the Melometers were the focus of the recap and this season, if I may say so myself. Anyways, we're going to be talking all about it, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. I want you to smash that like button, make sure you share and leave a comment in the comment section below. All these things help my videos get to the right audience, so thank you very much for that. Now let's get into it. So you guys know Carlos and Heavenly do their Messy Mondays lives, okay? So this wasn't any different. And as usual, I will talk about some of the key takeaways that I wanted to talk about and address in this video with you guys. So Dr. Heavenly basically asked about the Melometers, saying that she didn't know that they were that bad. And then she talks about the fact that Martell said something about the Melometers, Stormi said something about the Melometers, Destiny said something about the Melometers. And I'm just like, girl, what are you talking about? You've been on reality TV shows long enough, or you've been on a reality show long enough to know how fans can get. So, like, let's not start labeling fan groups, okay? Now, I will have to give it to Carlos on this one because he said he never wants to group one person's action to an entire fan base because not all fan bases operate the same way. He also talked about the fact that maybe 2 or 5 may do something extreme, but it doesn't represent the entire fan base. And I have to agree. I think it is a madness for people to say things like, oh, the Melometers do this when 1, 2, 3, or 5 people did something who may or may not be Melometers. It's like, why do you have to label a whole fan base like that? It's the same way with like the Beehive or like Nicki Minaj's fan base. Like, why should you have to label fan bases? Because there's a lot of different people within a fan base. It's the same way you have siblings, but not all your siblings are like you. Like, imagine we all were like, oh my God, because you guys are siblings, you have to be alike and you have to do things alike. I bet like we have siblings that live lives that we don't agree with. So like nobody is out here saying that, oh, your siblings this and you as a family of this people, this is what you lot do. That is not fair. You can't use the same brush and apply it on every single person. That is unfair. That is unacceptable. And it is disingenuous because I feel like they're only doing it because they're trying to isolate melodyshari, and that is all it is about. Because I just wonder, like, why aren't they doing it or labeling any other fan bases? Why aren't they doing it to the T-Squad? Like, why aren't they talking about the T-Squad? If we're now talking about fan base on the show, then maybe we can all start talking about the raindrops on the show. We can start talking about all these different fan bases. But nobody is doing that. It just feels like all of this is just being used to perpetuate an agenda against melodyshari and trying to force her hand and force her to leave. They addressed the whole Miss Black Titanic and Stormi situation again, like they didn't do enough last week. And Dr. Heavenly said that, you know, as a reality TV star, you do become a target. And yes, she is correct. Not just a reality TV star, but even like any celebrity, anyone in the public figure, you do become a little bit of a target because like a lot of people talk about like things against certain hate mail once they came into like the public or became public figures in some way. Even the ones that went on like all these creative like singing shows, for instance, and all these singing competitions, some of them talk about the kind of mail that they got. And so imagine being able to get all of that and you're not even necessarily seen sort of like a star as such, especially if you don't win the competition, but yet you get to the point where you're a target. Anyone in the public image or public scene is or can become a target. And she said, she wishes Stormi wouldn't cry about it because it's part of the game. And I agree. I feel like Stormi doesn't really have a thick skin because, like, of all of the people on this show, she's the one that has complained the most about, like, things being said about her. She's one that has cried to us and talks about her mental health when things aren't going her way on the show. I feel like she feels things deeply, and I feel like maybe reality TV show or something like that isn't really for her. Like, if I were someone like Stormi, I would stay away from the comments. I would have someone who screens everything and deletes anything that is negative. Just delete it. I don't even want to see it. Before I pick up my phone to check my phone, let it be screened. She has the money to do that. Just get someone to do that. But all you see is the positivity. Like, for me, if I want a life of positivity, I curate a life of positivity. Even when sometimes I get like annoying comments in my YouTube, if I don't want to respond and address it, sometimes you guys, shout out to you guys, right? Like, you guys that are subscribers, I love you guys, because sometimes some people come from nowhere to say some dumb ish in my comment section. And the way you guys just check these people and respond before I even get a chance to respond, I love that. Like, thank you guys, and I really appreciate it because you guys just jump in and like cut it out before it even becomes a thing. So by the time I'm even looking to be like, okay, let me respond or call this person out or tell this person to like move somewhere else with that negativity, you guys already addressed them, and I'm like, hey, nothing else left to say. But yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Now let's get back to the story because I feel like I've digressed a little bit. So Carlos decided to wear a cape for Stormi and jump in to say that seeing Stormi in that moment, it was more than someone not liking her. There can be disses here and there occasionally, but hating someone to the point of going to the court of law is a bit extreme, that sort of thing. Dr. Heavenly said that from watching the show, she didn't even think Stormi was disliked because on the show she thought her and Melody was cool. In my head, I'm like, why are you making it seem that someone would be disliked if they're not cool with Melody? Let's be clear. Even if you and Melody are not cool, nobody really comes for you until you start coming from Melody. That is the thing that people don't realize. If you're coming for their fave, and this is a pattern where you guys always come for her, of course, people are going to want to step in her and defend her. Let's say, for instance, Stormi did not let her mom talk to her Melody like that. Nobody would have been coming for her like that. Let's be honest. Nobody would. But if you start letting your mom disrespect Melody when she hasn't done anything wrong to you and you don't check your mom, then people now have an issue with you because they feel like this is a mirror of what Tisha's mom used to do, which is constantly pick at and talk about Melody, with Tisha doing absolutely nothing. So most of the people that are within this fan base rate and ride for Melody because no one else on the show has been consistently riding for Melody. They're always constantly changing tunes. They jump on Melody's bandwagon when it's cool to do so, and then when it's not, they jump over and do absolutely nothing. So when you think about it in that way, and then Stormi also joined the bandwagon, so of course people were like, nah, she's shady, they don't rate her, she can't stand in who she is. And then for her to then allow Betty to now be talking smack about Melody in front of Melody when Melody did nothing and it was obvious that Melody was blindsided, was just like, enough is enough. Carlos was still having his cape on and talked about the fact that they are attempting to ruin someone's life because they're watching a show. Dr. Heavenly said that not only that they're seeing someone living a life that they can never live, and they're watching Stormi making $1 million. She got businesses. Why should she have that and they don't? I'm like, I personally don't really think that people are out here thinking like, maybe there might be some people, let me be fair, maybe there might be some people, but I don't think, I've never really even seen comments, and I stay in the comments. I've never really seen comments of people saying like, how come Stormi is able to do that? No, instead what I see are people bigging up Stormi and saying she's good at business, maybe not good at everything else, but good at business. and people giving her flowers for working hard and making all that she's made. Now, people will talk about the fact that they feel like the customer service isn't great, but generally people give her props when it comes to business. So I don't really know what Heavenly was talking about here. I feel like she was sort of almost making it seem that like people are jealous of like Stormi's success, and that's what that is. I'm like, who could possibly be jealous of Stormi's success? They also did address the way Betsy treated Stormi, and Heavenly was like, she feels like she's just old school and she's indirectly a product of slavery, where they're forced to beat their children and stuff like that, and tough love. I knew they were going to give excuses for the way Stormi's mom behaved. Nah, right is wrong and wrong is wrong. Like, there is no reason for you to call right wrong or wrong right. Like, seriously. So of course they're talking about the fact that she just doesn't know how to show affection, but she dealt with that as best as she could, and she doesn't think bad of her. And I'm just like, no one is telling you to think bad of her, but you guys can call things out without trying to minimize and try to make it seem like, oh, it's because she's from that kind of era. Like, it's still wrong. Like, seriously. Now, they also addressed the Betty's comment about the Melometers, and Carlos asks if Melody can really ask the Melometers to stand down, and gives the example of when Melody was saying to Marceau that he can't even get his mother-in-law to stand down. How can she tell a bunch of people that she doesn't even know to stand down? Which is fair enough. And why should she? Like, why should she? Nah, you guys don't defend her when your fans are coming for her. Why does she have to say nothing? She doesn't have to do anything. She can keep quiet and keep it moving and keep it pushing. The same way you guys do. The difference is she's not pressed about none of your fans coming to call her out and call her all types of names. Well, Dr. Heavenly uses this opportunity to push the agenda, in my opinion, and says that, yeah, she feels like Melody can't have total control, but she can deactivate them somewhat, but she doesn't think she will. And you're right, she ain't gonna deactivate nobody, because she didn't get them activated in the first place. Like, let's just get it straight. And she then also tries to bring herself into it. And I'm like, Dr. Heavenly, you're taking the piss. Like, nobody's talking about you right now. Why are you trying to bring yourself into it? And she says that people be coming for her, asking why she keeps talking about Melody, but that she likes Melody and never said anything bad about her. Stop lying. There is this song, it's like a, why you always lying? Stop effing lying. That's exactly what I feel like saying right now. Like, why are you lying? Then she tries to say like, oh, she feels like it's Melody's defense mechanism. I'm like, this to me is shade to Melody, in my opinion, because what has Melody done to you now that you're saying it's her defense mechanism? Why are you bringing... She already addressed the fact that she does not activate nobody unless it's for her product. So what more do you guys want to see? At least she did say she doesn't activate nobody for her cast members. So what else do you want to hear? What else do you want to know? What it feels like is they hear one side about people coming at the Melometers, and then they do not have a balanced feedback where it's like, okay, this is from Melody's perspective. This is how she is addressing that. They just choose to only be pushing forward their agenda, in my opinion. But anyways, that is all I have to talk to you guys about today. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.